I need this in an IV consistently going through me. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. You know, it made me so happy because all these people got eaten by dinosaurs. He asked her, who did this to you? 5 stars. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Brittany and we are here today to do the infamous mid-year book tag that is going around. It goes around every single year. All the questions I will be answering will be linked down below in the description box in case any of you want to do this video as well. I tag anybody that has a booktube account. Even if you're not going to post it, I feel like it's just some nice little check-in questions for the middle of the year. You can also answer them in the comments if you don't want to do a whole video. That's totally understandable, but I'm curious, so feel free to answer any of the questions in the comments as well. Before we get into any of that, I do want to give you guys some general stats of where I'm currently at with my reading. So according to my Fable, I have read 111 books so far this year. I know I started this year completely feral. The first couple months I was reading like over 20 books a month. I just was unhinged. I've been slowing down a little bit, but that is where I'm at. And my goal is 125, so we're definitely gonna reach that soon. Actually, that's okay. Reading is my prime hobby. I have other hobbies, but like reading is the one that I do the most, so it makes sense. My average star rating is 3.7. So let's just jump into the questions. Let me get them pulled up on my phone. So the first question is the best book that I've read so far in 2025. That was impossible because I've read so many good books so far this year. I feel like I'm having a very good reading year as far as finding some Roman Empire books. I'm also just like really lenient. Like honestly, I'm a vibes person, so like if I just have a good time with a book, I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing, you know. But I did narrow it down to 2, the 2 that I thought of in that moment, because there's no way I could just pick one. Honestly, I wanted to sit here and name like 10, but you know, I probably shouldn't do that. The first one is For the Fans by Nyla K. This is a step sibling trope. It follows 2 stepbrothers and they meet when they're older. I want to say like 17 or something. They hate each other and they end up going to college together. Their family needs money and they start like an OnlyFans together reluctantly. Well, they don't start it together. One of the brothers starts it and then kind of like brings him on, and then lines get crossed. And it sounds crazy and unhinged, but like the emotional stuff that happens in this book, it just like, I don't know. I think it's a very beautiful book, even though it is like about OnlyFans and everything. Like the actual premise of the book is very beautiful and it was very entertaining and I love them. And yeah, this I just feel like sticks with me, you know what I mean? And then the next one I think will be Heavenly Bodies. I don't know what it is about this book, but I am obsessed with this book. I read it recently and I love everything about it. I love like the celestial astrology vibes. I love that they have their own like star sign system. I love the plot of it. It's like the perfect romantasy. It has everything that you could want in a romantasy. There's like prophecies and just like, I don't know. I love everything about this book. So this would probably be, you know, the second book that I think would be the best book that I've read so far this year. Question 2 is the best sequel that I've read so far this year. Again, I picked 2. Honestly, most of these probably have more than one answer because I have read 111 books. Like it's so hard to narrow down just one answer for these. So I did, you know, I tried, but you know, whatever. So the first one would be Gold Flame by Aveline Knight. That one just came out. I read the arc for that one. I'm obsessed with it. I thought it was so good. It was such a good sequel and it was so much darker than the first one and I was not expecting it to take the direction that it did take. So I was very shocked and my mouth was like on the floor the whole time. So good. And then the second one would be Liza My Monster by Rena Kent. The Monster trilogy I love. Again, I don't know what it is about the series, but I love it so much. I love Sasha, I love Kirill, and this kind of brought back like that slow burn tension. And there was a lot of like enemy rival type vibes as well going on in this, and I just really like this. I thought again it was a really good sequel to how the first one ended. So a new release that I haven't read yet but I want to, believe it or not, Sunrise on the Reaping. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. I was very excited for it. I love the Hunger Games. I grew up with the Hunger Games, but for some reason I just haven't, I don't want to say I haven't been in the mood, because I just like haven't really reached for it. I really don't know why I haven't gotten to it yet. I never ordered it because I want it in paperback because I have all of the others in paperback, but I could definitely get it on my Kindle or something and read it, so I don't know why I haven't. I probably should prioritize that soon. The next question is the biggest surprise. I wasn't sure if it meant in like a good way or in a bad way, so I picked one for each. So pleasant surprise, good surprise, I think would be Magnolia Parks. if you saw my video where I was like reading popular book talk books, I read this in there. I did not think I was gonna like this book. I have had it on my shelf for a long time and I've been actively avoiding it because it has a bunch of tropes that I don't like cheating and just all this like trauma and stuff, and I was like, you know, I don't think I'm gonna like that as someone who literally is Magnolia without the money part. But I just didn't think that I would resonate, I guess, at all with this book. I was like just reading it for the sake of the video, and it has consumed all of my thoughts ever since I've read it. I still think about this book. I cannot wait to read the rest of the series, and it was just a really nice surprise because I went into this thinking like I was not gonna like it. So definitely a pleasant surprise. And then a like bad surprise, I guess you could say, was Caught Up by Nevessa Allen. I thought I was gonna love that one because I love Lights Out. I think that book was so good. And Caught Up was just like a completely different vibe. I ended up DNFing it. I think I'll give it another shot in the future, but as of right now, it just like wasn't for me. I didn't like the female main character. She kind of was just like really annoying and giving like pick me vibes and just not likable at all to me. And I was expecting the humor that we had from like Josh and Allie, and we didn't really get any of that. So it felt like somebody else wrote the book, if that makes sense. And I was expecting the wit and the funny while still being dark romance, you know what I mean, like that we got in Lights Out. So yeah, that's how I felt about Caught Up. Next is favorite author, whether it's a debut or new to you. This one's hard because I want to say Carrie Lake, but she's not new to me because I did read Nocticadia back in October of last year. But the only reason I thought of her is because I've been reading more of her books this year. Like I picked her back up and I've become obsessed with her, and she's become an auto-buy author. Whereas in October, I just read that one book and I like didn't touch any of the other ones. So that was my first thought, but again, I don't know if it counts because I read her last year. So I guess my second thought would be maybe Lola King. She writes the North Shore series. I read Beautiful Fiend. I really liked that book. And now I do want to go back and read like all of her other books. So I guess we'll stick with Lola King as like the real answer, even though I technically gave you two answers on the sly. Newest fictional crush, we have Zavander from Anathema. I love him. He's so broody, and this was such a slow burn, so I love to see like the tension building and everything like that. He is an assassin. He's called a scorpion. He can literally will scorpions like from his hands, you know. I love him. A man. He's a man. I love him. So I think, yeah, this is like the most recent book that I've read that I just was like obsessed with the main male character. So a book that made me cry. Listen, I'm an emotional person already, like as it is. So a lot of books I've read this year probably have made me cry because I'll even cry if it's just like such a good book or if something really good happens in the book. Sometimes I'm just like so happy for the characters, or I'll read something sad. Like a lot of books have made me cry, okay? But the two I think that stuck out to me the most are, again, Magnolia Parks, because I was just so shocked by this. Like I felt gutted by the end of this book. Like Jessa Hastings has a way of writing where you feel like you are in that friend group, like you are like with them and you kind of are living through them. So I think it just like hit really harder, especially because I've also experienced some of these things. So by the end, I felt so sick and like I cried because of how bad I felt. So, but I loved it. I mean, I love this book. So that would be the first one, and the second one is probably a surprise to literally nobody. It is Song of Achilles. I reread this. So this year was my second read, and then I read it for the first time last year. I bawl every single time. This is one of my favorite books ever. This is such a comfort book for me. I already want to like reread it again, even though I know it's gonna make me cry. So I just love the characters. I love everything about this book. A book that made you happy. This is probably going to be an odd one for me to put up right now, but it is Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. You know, it made me so happy because all these people got eaten by dinosaurs. No, I'm just kidding. I love this book. I grew up obsessed with Jurassic Park. I grew up obsessed with dinosaurs. I finally got around to reading it, and I think I just got so much nostalgia while reading it that it made me so happy. Even though, you know, there's some tragic things that happen in this, but the whole time I was just like eating it up. I was like, oh my god, I'm having so much fun right now, and I just had such a good time reading it. So yeah, this would be a book that definitely made me happy. The most beautiful book that I bought or received this year. This one I technically bought last year, but it was a pre-order and it didn't come in until this year, so I feel like that still counts because it says received. and it is a special edition of Zodiac Academy. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It literally has so much artwork in between like each chapter of like what's going on, and then we have the actual hardcover as well, and then there's stuff inside. Like, it is so pretty, and I'm just obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with the series. Oh, and then we have little Diego here on the side with his little hat, his little beanie. But I just think it's really pretty, and they really like put in a lot of work here to like make this absolutely gorgeous. Oh, we get a colored map. So everything about this I'm obsessed with. And then another one is the indie version of Fairytale. This cover is so stunning to me. Something about it just like scratches my brain in the right way. I love it so much. Every time I look at it, I'm just like, that is so pretty. I feel like I'm doing really good with time. Normally my videos I ramble, but like I'm getting straight to the point. We're not playing today. What books do I need to read by the end of this year? Well, I still have my 2025 TBR cart is still like halfway full. I have not touched half of those books because, well, I'm intimidated by half of them. The girl who made that cart at the beginning of 2025, yeah, I don't know her. That was not me. Because almost all the books she put on there, they're some thick fantasy books. But I did pick 3 that I think I want to for sure prioritize and 100% make sure I get done. The first one is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I've really been wanting to read this for a long time, and I recently read Gallant by V.E. Schwab, and I really like her writing, so I feel like I'm gonna like this. I think I've been waiting more till like fall or winter. I don't know why, but this book kind of just gives me those vibes, so I think that's why I've been putting it off. Just look how pretty this is. Oh my gosh. Can we add this to like one of my prettier books? Actually, I might have gotten this last year, so never mind. But yeah, so definitely this one. Then I have Crown of Midnight because I started Throne of Glass in like March or April. For some reason, I have yet to continue it. Don't know why. I did enjoy it a lot, but I just haven't picked it up. So I definitely want to do Crown of Midnight and honestly just finish it because these books have been on my shelf for a very long time now and I still have yet to read them. And they're like, it's a bigger series, so I think I'm just like intimidated by it for that reason. So Crown of Midnight for sure. And then the last one is the Mindfuck series. Again, I've heard nothing but great things about this like series, so I really want to prioritize it this year. I feel like I want to read it soon because I honestly have been in a little bit of a slump, and I feel like this might help pull me out. So how many 5-star reads this year? Okay, listen, hear me out. As I've said earlier, I am a vibes reader. So like objectively, the book might not be that great, but if I had a good time reading it, I'm throwing that 5 stars like everybody gets a 5-star, you know? But then sometimes I am picky. It really just depends, because sometimes I'll be like, oh, I don't like the way this character said this, 4 stars. And then other times I'll be like, oh my gosh, he said this to her. He asked her who did this to you, 5 stars. Like, there really is no rhyme or reason to the way I rate things. It really is just like how I feel in the moment. So with that being said, I have 25 stars this year. But I have read such good books this year. I feel like I've been reading a lot of fantasy this year, and there's just been so many good ones. So it's okay. So the first one, this was actually my first 5-star of the year. I'm pretty sure I gave it like within the first week of 2025. It is House of Blight by Maxim M. Martineau. This, I think, was just such a unique plot. I read an arc for this and I ended up ordering it immediately because I loved it that much. The overall concept of this is that she's a thread mender who can heal people, but when she does, it takes off of her own life. And there's a sickness going around the town called Blight, and it's kind of pretty much like incurable. Something happens and an Ever, which is like a magical being, strikes a bargain with her to bring her back to his estate and everything, and for her to focus on curing blight. And that was a terrible explanation of it, but I don't want this video to be crazy long giving a full synopsis of each book. I've talked about this book multiple times. It's really enjoyable. I really like it. I thought it was unique. So next, I don't know if these necessarily count because they're rereads, but Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, I reread them obviously for Onyx Storm's release, and those were 5 stars, of course. Then going along with that, we obviously have Onyx Storm. This was a 5-star for me. I know it was hit or miss for some people. I really loved it. I loved the route that it took. I loved the like whole side quests with the Isles. I loved all of it. I think the ending was insane, and yes, 5 stars. Then we have Wild Love by Elsie Silver. I don't know why or what it was about this book, but I just ate it up. I was like immediate 5-star. I love Ford Grant. I love the town, like the Rose Hill town. Like, I just loved it. I don't know. I love Elsie Silver books. I feel like it's so easy for me to throw a 5-star at her books because, like, the way she writes, you feel like you are in that town. Like, I miss a town that I've never even been to. I don't think this town even exists, but I miss it. I have no idea where I put the book, but the next one is Blood of My Monster by Rena Kent. Kind of like I was saying earlier about Liza My Monster. I just really, really love that series, the Monster Trilogy. I feel like it's different than anything else that she's written. I love the whole concept of Sasha having to go undercover into the military as a man, and then Kirill's her captain, and then she ends up becoming part of like his private guard when they go back to the States. And then a little bit of romance kind of buds from there. I just, again, I feel like I keep saying this, but I just thought it was very like unique compared to her other books, so. Oh, and actually going along with that, I forgot that I also gave the sequel, Liza My Monster. That was also 5 stars. So both of those were 5 stars. My thing is too, like if I'm attached to the characters, like if I read the first book and it's a 5-star and I'm attached to the characters, 90% of the time, the following books are probably going to be 5 stars because I'm attached to the characters, unless you really just like fall off with the writing or something or go a direction that I don't like, then obviously it won't be. Like, I'm not going to automatically rate it 5 stars, but chances are like I'm a little biased already. Then we have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. This was a 5-star for me because it felt like I was literally reading a fairy tale. The world and the writing felt so whimsical, like I was literally there. I love Evangeline, I really love Jax, and I thought the plot of this was kind of fun, and I don't know, I had a really good time reading this. I feel like I read this in like one night, maybe 2 nights, but I could be completely wrong. I don't know, but I had such a good time with this one. And going along with that, also Legendary. I did not think I was gonna like Legendary because I was a Scarlett and Julian girl, but oh my gosh, I loved this. I loved reading like it. Oh my gosh, dare I say it was like almost better than Caraval, but like they're also both their own plots. So I feel like I can't really compare them, but I just enjoyed it so much. I loved the plot of this one. I feel like the stakes were higher. Everything about it was like higher. Then obviously Jurassic Park, Chef's Kiss, perfect, extraordinary, such a great time. I have nothing else to say about this one. Then I did reread The Hunger Games for another video, and just because I wanted to reread it in general, I was going to reread the whole series and then Sunrise on the Reaping, and then I kind of just fell off. But again, 5 stars. It was nostalgic. It was still just as good as I remember. And I feel like reading it, like now that I'm older and I have more like knowledge of life and everything, I feel like I enjoyed it even more. So yeah, if you like read it when you were in high school or something, I highly recommend rereading it because it hits differently, especially now. Then I have The Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. First off, Diana, love her. She is a baddie. I love her. I think she's such a great female main character. And Sam Kyle, love him. I think he's so fine. Oh my gosh, I love him. I feel like that's all you need to know about that. Then obviously, because I had it as one of the best books of, 2025, For the Fans by Nyla K. I did already kind of tell you the plot of that one, so I'm not going to repeat myself. But like I said, that one was just like an experience reading. I had a really good time, and it hits you in like all the emotions because you'll be kicking and giggling your feet for 1 second, and then the next second you're like wanting to cry and like you feel for these characters. So I love books that, give you like a nice little range like that. Then we have The Crimson Moth, or Heartless Hunter is the US version. This, for some reason, I don't know what it is, but I was addicted to this. Like, this just like had a chokehold on me. I finished it so fast. It's YA, so it does go by really fast, but I loved like the overall vibe of this. I love the Regency aspect, but then the witch and witch hunter like dynamic. It was such a good like enemy to lover type thing, and I am so excited to read the second one. I love Rune. I think she's very cunning, and this was so good. So I feel like this is another really good one. Like, if you need to get out of a slump, this is a good one because it's fast-paced and like it's very easy to like understand the world and everything. Again, I've already mentioned this book probably like 3 times in this video, but Magnolia Parks. I don't feel like grabbing some of these books that you saw earlier because now they're in a pile on the floor in case you're wondering. But this, like I said, consumes my ever-waking thought currently, and I still think about it, and it's been like 2 months since I finished it, so definitely worthy of a 5-star in my opinion. Then again, we have Heavenly Bodies. I want this book injected into my veins. I am obsessed with this book, and I really want to read the second one. I need the second one like right now. Another 5-star. Sorry, I'm kind of like breezing through these because I feel like I've already mentioned half of these and kind of already talked about them, so that's why I'm like going fast through them. But again, Gold Flame by Avalon Knight. This was a sequel to Gold Sin, and oh my gosh, I just definitely check your triggers if you do plan on reading this series, especially for the second one, because it is dark. Like, some things happen in this book that I was not expecting, but the direction it's taking, I'm just like shocked. Like, it was so good. I finished it in one day. Granted, it was for a 24-hour challenge, so like I had to finish it that day, but even if I wasn't doing a 24-hour challenge, I think I would have finished it in one day because it was that good. It literally like grabbed me by the throat and just like did not let go. Then we have From Blood and Ash. I think this is hilarious because, again, like Magnolia Parks, I thought I was gonna hate this book. I have had it sitting on my shelf for like 2 years now, and I just have been actively avoiding it because I read another book by this author and I hated it. That sounds mean, but I just did not like it. So I've been looking at this on my shelf for so long, and I was like, I don't think I want to read you, but like I know I will eventually. So then for that same video, the book talk, like popular books video or whatever, I ended up picking this up because I was like, you know, I do see this all over TikTok, so it makes sense to read it. I'm so mad that I have not read this sooner. I already went and bought the second book because I'm addicted to this. I get it. This is so worth the hype. Honestly, I'm kind of mad that I waited as long as I did, so easy 5-star. Again, I don't know if this technically counts because it's a reread, but Song of Achilles. What I said earlier, I take back because this is actually the book that I want injected into my veins. I want this, like, I need this in an IV consistently going through me. I think I mentioned this earlier, but I already want to I literally just finished my reread probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. I already want to reread it because these characters to me are such a comfort. This book is such a comfort to me, even though I know I'm gonna bawl my eyes out. It's heartbreaking, but it's so comforting at the same time, and it's so beautiful, and I just love this book so much. If you have not read this book, I seriously recommend it if you like Greek mythology, because if you don't like Greek mythology and you pick up this book, you're not gonna really care about it. I just feel like, I don't know, you're not gonna be into it. So, and then the last two are more recent 5 stars, and it's Anathema by Carrie Lake and A Stark View by Alexis Patton. These are in one of my more recent reading vlogs, but this is a like dystopian romance type vibe, and then this is a like gothic paranormal fantasy romance. So good. I had a blast with these two. What books do I want to reread this year? I've already obviously reread a couple, Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, Hunger Games, and Song of Achilles, but I do love to reread books. I love going back and revisiting books, especially if I love them, because again, it's like a comfort thing. I love if it's like a thriller or something, I love looking for Easter eggs, or if there's like some sort of mystery aspect, you notice things that you don't notice the first time. I definitely want to reread Magnolia Parks and annotate it for sure. And then what else would I want to reread? Oh, you know what I do want to do? I honestly don't know if I'm going to get to it this year, but I do really want to reread and restart the complete Shadowhunters series. I read that, I think, like freshman or sophomore year in high school. I devoured it, and I don't know if I ever completely finished it because I like got in a reading slump, but I didn't know that was like what it was called at the time, and then I kind of just like slowly stopped reading, so I never like got back into it. So I really just want to restart it in general. I feel like it's gonna feel like I'm reading it again for the first time because it's been so long now, and I remember being obsessed with it. Like, I would literally draw like runes on my hands and stuff. So yeah. And the last question, at least the last question on the one that I found, there might be other versions or more questions, but a book that I love that has mixed reviews. I actually am gonna nominate Kiss the Villain for this one. I mean, like, I wouldn't say I'm obsessed 5-star, but I had a good time with this one, and I'm sure everybody has already like seen all the discourse about this one that was going around. It was very like mixed reviews. People either loved it or hated it. There was really no in between. I really liked it. I actually like this version of Gareth. I found him interesting. He literally is like Killian, but sometimes even crazier at certain points. I didn't really care for Caden, I will say that. Like, I don't hate him, I'm just kind of indifferent about him, but I guess he works for Gareth. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed this. I loved getting snippets of all of the other Legacy of Gods characters. I loved seeing the initiation from his POV, and I loved that we were back on the campus and everything, because God of War I didn't like because it was in the future and it felt like it was disconnected from the world. So I was really glad that we kind of like went back to the roots. So yeah, this will be my answer for that one. That is the end of this book tag. I tried to get through the questions really fast, so hopefully this video is not 7 hours long. If you guys did enjoy it, definitely give me a giant thumbs up, subscribe, and comment any answers that you have down below for the questions that I have in the description. And I will see you guys next week. Bye!